Next up, we go to Endo. We could have put Frimpong in, but it's very hard, nay, impossible, to give a player a rating after 2.5 minutes. All we can say is we hope Jeremy is back soon. We'll let you know more about that injury as and when we know it. He was, of course, replaced by Wataru Endo, who came on and did a very good job. Now, I think he'll have harder days ahead if he does play in the games against Newcastle, Manchester City or whatever. But as always, he's a dependable squad player who came in and did his job today. So for that, I'm going to give him a score of 6. The audience have gone higher with a 7.2. But honestly, the reason I went with a 6 is he didn't really have much defending to do there. And we were certainly pinning them in more in the second half, which was a much better performance for me than the first half. But all in all, it's a 6 for me and a 7.2 from the audience. Next.
It was Wataru Endo tonight who did the job, and I thought did it really well. I was interested when I saw Frimpong go down. I was wondering what that meant. I just presumed it would be Szoboszlai going to right back, but the manager stuck with Endo, and actually did well. To be fair, Endo, he got forward where he could, but he defended and did his job properly. So we'll see what that means for the weekend and going forward. That is a big shame for Liverpool. I know, there's been talk about the transfer window and what Liverpool are or aren't going to do. For me, they should have signed a defender anyway. I can't believe I'm just looking at my watch there, by the way. The 28th of January time recording, and Liverpool haven't signed a defender. If this Frimpong injury is a bad one, and if it's months or and numerous weeks, which it looks like it could be, given how he looked, Liverpool really should be in the market. Never mind letting players go. Andy Robertson being like to move away. That's nonsense. Liverpool should be in the market right now for a player. And for a defender, whether they will, I don't know. If they got someone on the hit list that they maybe were thinking of for the summer, can they go and do something now? Because Liverpool are down to the bare bones at the back. They've got no right backs officially. They have got one centre back, albeit obviously I don't know what the situation with Ibu Konate is and when he's going to return. But as of that game right there, they had Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson on the pitch, and then they had Milos Kerkez on the bench. That was it. Obviously, you can add Calvin Ramsey in for the weekend for the game in the Premier League, and then obviously the young lads like Nalo, but I'm not sure they're viable options at this stage. So yeah, I think Liverpool really should be considering going into the market.
And we didn't have Curtis Jones in the team, we didn't have Konate because he's on compassionate leave. Joe Gomez was injured. We started with one centre back, and realistically we could have started with Endo back there, but we started with Gravenberch a bit more forward thinking, probably because we didn't think we were going to get all that much challenge back there, and we should have been able to play with Gravenberch back there. Endo, I actually thought, ended up being kind of one of the players where you go, right, you are able to do something in this side. We already knew he was capable, but when he came on and showed more than a level of capability and found himself in decent positions, very often was kind of charging forward, clearly showed he could read the game. I think Endo deserved more minutes. I think there are a lot of people in there in this period where there's been a lot of injuries who've shown, actually we can do something here.
Endo played a fantastic game. So Endo played as a centre-back 3 days ago against Bournemouth. He was quite decent. He did his best. He's the Japanese warrior. He always gives the best. He always plays the best. He always put that passion, the fire in the eyes, that intensity. He always tried to help. He always put the leg on. He's the player that you can rely to him. He's not world class. Obviously, he's not world class, but he's the player that, we need you, lad. Shush, come on. And he's there. He's always there to help the team, especially in hard moments. So big shout to Wataru Endo, our Japanese warrior.
I just saw something on the way in there on Twitter about our squad depth. Never mind centre back, but across the back four, and it's just fucking horrific. We've basically got no right backs now because we've not seen anything of Ramsey apart from in that game against Crystal Palace. It doesn't look like he's coming in. It looks like I noticed in the press conference he mentioned Dom at right back, and then he mentioned Jones after him before he even gets to Ramsey. I feel so bad for the kid because at that stage in the game you start to shit yourself because he's the energy and he's the excitement, and obviously Ekitike and Wirtz are on the pitch, but Frimpong's given us a lot of excitement recently, so when he goes down you're just thinking fuck. But we come through it, and massive props to Endo, because Endo comes in and does really well, and I see him chatting to Szoboszlai, and Szoboszlai's like, you're just going to slot in there and let me know if you need a hand.
I've done it for months, mate. You'll be all right.
Yeah, it was basically that, and I think there's one moment when Dom comes in at right back. But yeah, Endo does really well. He's providing the width a lot of the time. He's providing the width a lot higher up. Wins his duels, loads of energy. And you know, it's fucking hard to come into a game of footy when you've not played for a long time. Never mind as a centre back, then a right back, when you're a defensive midfielder. He's just back from an injury himself, so fair play to the lad. I thought,
as said, but I want to give a shout out to Endo today. So Endo came in at right back today for Frimpong. Frimpong was injured within 2 minutes, which is another defensive blow for Liverpool, which you will talk about. But I thought Endo did well in general. I think with Endo, like, he doesn't play for a while. I think Slot has ignored him a lot more. I think Endo gets a bit of that Chiesa treatment where, okay, Slot doesn't rate him, but there's times where I think Endo could have played more and he didn't. And he comes in after not playing much football, and I thought he put in a really good performance. I thought he was inverting well. I thought he was looking to get forward and doing well. I thought he was pressing well. I thought it was generally a very good performance from Endo. I think, you know, he just shows his experience. He shows his mindset. He's got that warrior mindset, ready to battle, ready to make things happen. And I thought, you know, he did a good job at inverted right back. And, you know, I don't know if that's a long-term solution. I think your best bet is hoping Frimpong's injury isn't serious or going and getting another defender. But, you know, credit where credit is due to Endo, because when you're out for months, barely had a sniff, you come in, you play out of position and you work your socks off and you play like that. Credit where credit is due. And I think
Ouattara at right back tonight had to come on a lot early, probably than expected. What did you make of his performance?
Positive, as we're used to from Wata. You gave him a job, and he's doing it with all he's got. And today he did really well. What you lack a little bit if you play him over there, you don't have as many overlaps or 1v1 quality as maybe Jeremy Frimpong has. But what he does is so decent and concentrated and focused. The good thing, of course, was also today that we were only attacking. That's helpful if you have only attacking players on the pitch. So the real test is, of course, for our last line, if we have to play with the same one again, if you face Newcastle and Manchester City, which I rate a bit above Qarabağ. But for tonight, of course, it's nice that if you play with such an offensive lineup, that you are able to have so much ball possession and score so many goals and hardly give away anything.
Tony?